All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thanks for hanging out with us today on Site Review Tuesday. Hey, why don't you drop in, say hi to us on the chat, let us know where you're from. We love you guys who jump back on here week after week and hang out with us every single Tuesday. And, of course, anybody who this is your first time on Site Review Tuesday, let me just explain how things work. So to get things started, I need you guys to throw a number in the chat from 1 to 111. That is going to pick the first site that we're going to review. So if you guys on the live stream there on the chat, throw a number in from 1 to 111. We're going to be reviewing 3 websites today. Each review is going to be 15 minutes per review. The third site's going to come from you guys in the live chat audience, and as always, we're giving points but not keeping score. So hey, if you haven't had your site reviewed yet, there's a link in the description below the video that says site submission form, and that is where you can submit your site to be reviewed. So if you haven't submitted it yet, go ahead and get your website in there and submitted. Let's see, we've got the amazing Katie hanging out with me today, taking care of you guys in chat. So make sure that you show Katie some love. She does an awesome job week after week hanging out with me on Site Review Tuesday here, taking care of you guys, answering questions. Let's see who else we got hanging out with us in chat. We've got Lynn, In. I tried to say Lynn and In together. Lynn and In. Why do I keep trying to do that? And is it Servatson, Isaac, let's see, English, and Jennifer LaRoche. So hey, you guys, thanks for jumping on here and hanging out. I'm super excited, you guys. Today I got to come out of quarantine. I've been in self-quarantine for the past 30 days. Today, this morning, I got a call that said my test was negative. I got to come out and see my wife and kids. Super excited about that. So that's why I'm so energetic. All right, let's see. Do I have any announcements really quick? I think I do. The Ultimate Photographer Starter Package. Guys, if you haven't checked that out yet, that is something that Zenfolio has going on right now. There's a link in the description below this video that you can click and check out. It's really cool. There's lots of cool stuff in there for you. I forget how many days the sweepstakes is running, but make sure that you click on that link and check it out. Let's see. Also, you guys, we're still doing the group training sessions. So these are for advanced selling, basic selling, and then we're even doing one for Book Me. So if you guys haven't signed up for any of those, definitely check those out. The link to sign up for those in the description below. And then as always, you guys, we are encouraging you to post something positive daily on your social media, on your Instagram, on your Facebook. Make sure that you're throwing up some beautiful images, putting some positive messages out there, and just giving everybody something to brighten up their day. And while you're doing that, go ahead and tag it with hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance for that image to be shared on our social media platform. So make sure that you're using that tag. All right, let's see. What is the first number that I saw in the chat? It looks like that was from Isaac Trotter today, who said number 68. So I'm going to go grab website 68, pull it up, and we will get started with the review. All right, so site 68 is going to be, let me fix my camera. It was really tiny for some reason. There we go. Site 68 is going to be, it looks like is it Celtic Compositions. So that's what it is. I'm going to pull it over here and we will get started on that review. All right, you guys, we're going to throw 15 minutes up on the clock. We'll get started with the review. Again, if you guys are hanging out with us in the live chat and you haven't had your site reviewed yet, make sure that you click that link in the description below the video and submit your site to be reviewed. All right, here we go. Let's get that started. All right, just starting here on the homepage, let me just throw this link out in chat for you guys. It's going to come out at a weird time because I'm a little bit ahead and you guys have that delay, but there is the link to the site. Let's just pull this down and get started right up here at the top like we always do. So Celtic Compositions, really cool name. Right up here in the website description, we can already see the location this photographer is in, their name, and so really good information to have up here. You could definitely put some more information in there, but that is like the baseline of what you want in there. Again, it doesn't really matter where we're seeing it right up here. Where this matters for is for your SEO, because this is actually shown to search engines. And when you do search results, this website title is what shows up in search results that people click on. So that's something to think about up here. Let's go ahead and bring this back up. And we'll just start over here. Really cool logo. So you do have kind of two site menus going on here. Okay, you have your header menu turned on, which is this up here. That's why we see the home and the login. And then we have about and portfolio, which is kind of your homepage menu, it looks like. So we're going to be talking about that a little as we move forward. Sometimes that can create some complications for navigation and different things like that. But I think this looks really cool out the gate, and I've already seen some really, really cool photos. You've got a nice, really cool customization done to your header menu up here as well with that kind of gradient fade over here. Some really beautiful photos, though, just absolutely gorgeous photos here on the homepage, so nice job on that. Let's see. Couple things down here. You have your search bar on. I think that's fine, but you also have it showing up here, so it is a little redundant. You might think about removing it from down here, just having it show up here on your home page. Also, on this search up here, you have this little option, and it's kind of fading out to white, so it's hard to see. That's a theme thing. But in here, you do have the option to where I can search just your sites or all of Zenfolio. So that might be something that you want to go in and turn off. You can find those settings if you go into Customize View, and then they're in Site Settings somewhere down there. I can't remember exactly where that search option is. But you can turn off this little toggle right here. And of course, you can't read what it says because of the theme that you're using. But here it says search this photographer or browse all of Zenfolio. So just something to think about. Do you want people possibly going to other people's websites from yours? I don't think that you do either. So that's something you definitely want to think about. All right, let's go down here for a minute and talk a little bit about the information that you have on your homepage. A couple of things here. You have the number of visitors. This is not information that I need to know as a visitor. I kind of opt to turn these things off. It's not really important for visitors to see how many visitors your site has had. Also, you have the guest book set up here. Let's just take a look. Usually the guest book ends up being turned into kind of a spam kind of thing. So let's take a look at this really quick. So it looks like you're kind of using this as a way to communicate with your clients. Maybe you want to think about switching that strategy up and using the built-in blog. It has a better presentation. It's also a lot more SEO friendly as well. So you might think about turning off that guest book, switching that communication to either your blog or doing like a custom page for your communication and like kind of newsletter stuff like you're doing here. It looks like you do have the moderation set up, so I don't see a bunch of spam comments in here. So I'm going to say nice job setting that up. Usually when we see a guest book and we go in and we take a look at it, it's full of spam comments because the moderation has been turned off and people are just able to post whatever they want. And that's a bad thing in most cases that we don't want to happen. So nice job there. Again, just some fantastic images showing here on the homepage. So let's just kind of take a look at these for a second. Just some really beautiful landscape photos. One thing I'm noticing here is that so far, all of the images that I'm seeing, wow, look at that one, you guys. That is gorgeous. All of the images that I'm seeing are in the landscape orientation. And so what you could definitely do is you could definitely switch over and use a more full screen slideshow. So that way these images are presented much larger to your audience. And also it's going to kind of cut out some of this space around here. And then you might think about turning off some of these distracting elements. Like this stuff on here is okay, and it does help your SEO. However, if you want to show this information, you might take a look at the layouts. There are other layouts that you can use that will show your welcome message a little bit differently, have it more centered, not have like this weird awkward spacing. So some of this stuff is not really necessary for your homepage. Also, what I like to do is I like to teach people how to use my website. Okay, and so kind of an internet standard today is that header menu, that up top navigation. Occasionally when you go to different sites, you'll see some sidebars, some footer navigations, but pretty much an internet standard for most part is the top bar header navigation. And so really, I want people to be able to find and get to exactly what I want them to get to from that top bar navigation. I never want them to have to look for anything. And so this information down here below, this kind of continuous scrolling thing is nice. I mean, and you do have your guest book kind of showing here twice as well. That's really interesting. I've never seen that happen before. but this kind of information down here may not be necessary depending on how you set up your navigation. So again, just something to think about. Okay, now as we go down here, I'm also seeing a different menu. So this is your footer menu, and this looks like it's a very organized menu with a lot of direct links to different things that we're going to check out here in a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back up and we're going to start at the top with your homepage menu here. So we have About. And so let's go take a look at your About page really quick. So what do you guys in chat think about this? Typically, I would recommend leading off with images. Now, if you're a landscape photographer, maybe you want to lead off with the galleries that you have for sale. Maybe the About information comes a little bit down the road. Right now, we want to capture people's interest with the images that we're presenting to them, and we want to make it really quick and easy for them to get to see those images. And so just following the path that you've kind of laid out for us here on your homepage, if I go to About, the first item, and I go here, it lands me on here. Now you have some good information in here. It talks a little bit about where you got your education. It looks like some of the location. You have a really cool photo in here. But one thing I want you guys to see is when I clicked on that About information, I lost all of that top navigation up here. So all of that navigation that was showing up here, it's now non-existent. So what I would suggest in this case is take that navigation that you've set up on your homepage. Let's get all of those menu items showing on your header, and let's hide that homepage menu on the homepage so that this navigation stays consistent up top, so that when we travel from page to page as a visitor, we can always rely on going back up to that top nav bar and getting back to where we were, or moving and progressing through your site to where we want to go. Okay, because right now I'm a little confused. I either have to use my back button or maybe click on home. And so this navigation could become pretty tiresome to a visitor. Now you do have this down here, and you kind of have this search by, and then you have mountain range. And so these are really broken off, really nice and kind of sectioned off. It looks like you have a lot of images on your site. Here's that search bar again. It is kind of covering up some stuff. So if that's the case, where you have to organize things in so many different menu items and drop downs like this that it just gets really complicated, you might want to think about then linking menu items to groups. So having a drop down of waterfalls, okay, or not having a drop down of waterfalls, but maybe having a drop down of like outdoors or scenic or something like that. And then in that drop down for scenic, maybe it says waterfalls, mountain ranges, national parks. And then when you click on one of those, then it takes you to a group page to where then you see all these different organizations in there, because this is a lot to go through down here. This is quite overwhelming, even for me, somebody who's always on Zenfolio, always looking at the website. This is a little bit of an overwhelming menu system here. So I like that you're using the drop downs, but it is a lot to go through. And I'm also afraid that we're losing some navigation with that search bar. So just something to think about there. Okay, let's go back and let's follow your menu up here. So we're going to go check out your photography equipment next. And here's a list of your camera gear and all of that stuff. I think this is fine information to have on your website. I don't know that this is information that I would lead with. Again, I think images should be what you lead with, and then this information is available later on down your navigation. You want to set your navigation up to tell people, hey, this is the path that I want you to follow. Left to right, left down, left to right. You want to give them a path to follow. I see that you're Team Nikon, so I'm going to give you bonus points for being Team Nikon. I'm Team Nikon as well. No offense to anybody else who's like a Canon shooter or Fuji shooter or what else is there? Olympus, Hasselblad, Leica, all of you other guys. Love to all of you guys as well. I just happen to be Team Nikon as well. Okay, again, I think this is fine information, but I think, again, it needs to be further on down. So let's go back and let's check out your portfolio. Now, let's take a look at your portfolio really quick. Again, this is coming from your home page, and we kind of see the, wow, look at that image. You guys, just absolutely beautiful photos, just absolutely gorgeous photos. So let's take a look at this really quick. So this is your portfolio. And so one of the things that I think you want to make it really clear on, and we've kind of had this discussion several times here on Site Review Tuesday. I think that one of the things that you have to do, especially if you're a photographer who does landscapes, these are beautiful landscapes. If you do this kind of work, but then you also do work to be hired for, I think that there's a difference, and it needs to be very distinguishable on your site that this is work that you can hire me for, but these are photos that I sell as like fine art or landscape prints or something, or wall art or something like that. So I think that there needs to be a distinction made on your website to where if it's work that I can hire you for, that's what's in your portfolio. You're showing off your, if you're doing portraits or things like that, or adventure photos or something like that, that's your portfolio, versus your landscapes and all of that stuff might be your gallery where you have your art for sale. I think there needs to be some kind of distinction in that. What do you guys think in chat about that? I know it's a kind of a conversation that's been ongoing through Site Review Tuesdays, but curious again to get your guys' feedback. Let's take a look really quick. These images are rather small too. So going to your portfolio, what do you guys think? So there's kind of two thought processes that I have here. Okay. When we land on this portfolio page, the images down, let's go back. So I went too far back. The images down here at the bottom of the portfolio page. So kind of as we go down here, they're small, they're cropped square. So you guys tell me what you think, because part of me is like, yes, I would love to see these images larger. I don't want to see them in the square. I want to see their natural aspect ratio. The other part of me, the Instagram side of me, is like, oh, okay, cool. I like the little square Instagram looking thing. Now, the other thing that I like here as well is that the thought process of, if the images are like this, then the visitor has to click on them to then see the larger view, which we then get the shop side. So I like that thought process if this was set up that it was very visible that this is not my portfolio where you're going to see my demo work, but this is my art gallery where you're going to go see the photos that I have for sale. So if that's the kind of the process and the thought behind it, I think that having it set up in this smaller way where you have to click on the photos to see them bigger might not be a bad thing. Definitely, if this was a portfolio, you want to make it easier, I think, and these thumbnail images to be larger and easier to browse through. Absolutely beautiful photos, though. Can't say enough about how gorgeous these photos are. Okay, now I'm on your portfolio, and I scroll down to the bottom. So let me just go back and say a few things that I always talk about. There's no caption. Okay, and there's no caption. There is also no categories and keywords, and we've lost that footing navigator down here. So we're losing a lot of access to things by that footer menu going away. Looked like you had a lot of different things that we could go check out that now I can't go see from your portfolio. Also, there is no captions and captions, categories, and keywords. So not a lot of SEO stuff in here to really help this page and your site show up in search results. I know I'm running out of time. Let's see if we can at least get to one more site menu item. You guys, throw another number out in the chat for me. We're going to do 200 to 301. So that'll be the next site that we review. I need a number between 200 and 301. Throw it out in the chat for me. Let's go check out your lockdown images really quick. All right, so here is something. This does have a caption on it. This looks more like kind of like a viewing gallery, right? Let's scroll down. Let's see if there's any categories and keywords. So no categories and keywords. Again, definitely something to think about. You want to get that in there so that this site can show up for search results. So there's actually information for search engines to kind of read and understand and help rank accordingly. Okay, Celtic compositions, beautiful, beautiful photos. Definitely making me want to get out and see and travel, especially since I've been locked up in the back half of my house for like the past 30 days. Thank you for submitting your site. Hopefully I gave you some good information. Again, it seems like with so many of these site reviews, it really comes down to two things. Site navigation, just thinking about your site navigation, and then putting in the SEO work and then making sure that they're turned on so they actually show up here. Beautiful, beautiful photos though. Absolutely gorgeous photos. All right, let me say hi to some of you guys in chat really quick, because I know quite a few guys jumped on after I got started. So let's just go back up and say hi to Brenda. Neil Arthurs, let's see, M. English, Linda, Bruce Young, and let's see, Roxanne Bay. Hey, Miss Roxanne, how are you? Let's see who else we got in here hanging out with us today. Sharks408 says, "Go Team Nikon, go!" But he bought a Fuji X. You know, I always say if I could go back, I would take a hard look at what Fuji and Sony was doing before I just went and bought my Nikon. I always say that to myself. Let's see who else we have on here. Brian, and I think I got a hold of everybody there. All right, and Lynn says Site 301. So let me go grab Site 301. We'll get it over here. We'll start the review, and then we'll come back and get your guys's, do the last review from you guys there in chat. Okay, this is your last chance. After this review, we'll be doing a review from one of you guys in chat. So if you haven't submitted your site, make sure that you get your site submitted to be reviewed today, because after this one, we're going to be reviewing one of your guys' sites from the live chat. Let's go ahead and get this review started. All right, so I got 15 minutes up on the clock. Let's go ahead. Let me just throw this link out there for you guys. All right, there is the link. And this is carriewhitephoto.com. Let me just bring this site down here so you guys can check it out. So Carrie's got a favicon. Let's see if she's got, and she does have some information. So in her website description, her website title, she has her business name, the location, and the type of photography that she does. So good job on that, Miss Carrie. Nice job having that information up there. Super helpful for your SEO. All right, so let's see. We've got some beautiful images here on the homepage. Just absolutely beautiful photos. Let's keep looking for a second. Looks like we've got portfolio, client galleries, tidbits, investment collections, products, about, and contacts. So we're going to be looking at those. Let's go down here and check this out. All right, so this is something that's really cool. This looks like you have modified your welcome message here. And if I'm not mistaken, these look like links. So I'm happy that you are here. What are you searching for? Weddings. And that is a link. So Miss Carrie has gone in and clicked the source button and actually went in and done some little HTML work and added some links in here in her welcome message right on her homepage to kind of add some quick references to get to different places on her site. So, hey Brian, there is a link in the description below the video that says site submission form. That is where you go to submit your site. Okay, so let's check out what these links are really quick. I want to make sure that they're actually working before I give you bonus points. Nice. And this looks like, wow, look at that. So that's a custom page. So really cool setup here on the homepage. I'm giving you bonus points for that. You've got these links that are right here in your welcome message. You've got some good information. We already know the type of photography you do, where you're from. We're already seeing some beautiful photos. Your contact information is here. So overall, I think this is a really, really cool homepage. Really, really cool homepage. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at your portfolio. We're just going to start up here and go to portraits and take a look. All right, so some really pretty photos, absolutely beautiful photos. Let's just scroll down and take a look. So I do see categories and keywords in here, so nice job setting that up. So a couple of extra things that you can do. Think about the way you title your gallery. Yes, when we're creating our portfolios as photographers, I did it too. We name it, okay, this is my portrait portfolio, and we just name the gallery portraits, or we name it landscape, or we name it weddings. Well, those gallery titles matter. And so in here, you could put portrait photography, or I think it was, you said you were from Illinois. I think I'm saying that right. So you could say your town, Illinois portrait photographer portfolio in the gallery title. Add a caption, right? A quick caption. Talk about portrait sessions. Talk about why you love them. Maybe some specific locations that you like to do these sessions at. And then a link to contact you to schedule your session or something like that. So things that you can put in here just to help search engines, again, understand what this site is about, understand what this page is about, and help ranking you accordingly. Also, image titles. If you want to show those, you can. Probably some of the things that I would turn off is like the little sequence number right here. There's not really a reason for that to be shown on your portfolio gallery. The favorites, what do you guys think in chat? is favorite something that you would want to show in your proofing gallery, or not your proofing, definitely in your proofing gallery, in your portfolio gallery. Not a big deal, not a game changer at all, but think about how much different it looks when somebody hovers over this image and it's all clean and there's not all these little hover things that show up here. So just something to think about on your portfolios. These are like your elevator pitch sites, right? This is where people go and they're like, okay, you're going to show me your best work. You want to make sure that it's presented as cleanly, as crisp as possible. So there's a lot of these things right here that you can turn off to really help clean up this presentation. I think the photos are beautiful. And, you know, this is a good number of photos right here. It gives me a really good overall idea of the diversity of your work, the type of photos that you take, the skill level that you have, without overwhelming me and I have to scroll down a whole bunch. So I think this is a nice setup. Also, down here, it looks like you've done some. Did I say you've done? You have. I don't even know how to properly say that. You have put in some custom coding in your footer to show your little badges here. So I think this is really cool. So nice job on there. This is a really good portfolio. Nice page. Maybe make the images just a little larger. Maybe. What do you guys think in chat? Images a little bit larger on this grid. Let's click one and see what happens when we click on one really quick. Nice. Let's go into the dim the lights mode. I love that presentation on portfolios. It's really clean and simple. Maybe make the images just a little bit larger, but other than that, I don't have a lot to complain about other than the title and your caption. Let's take a look at your wedding portfolio. All right, so it looks like I'm going to be saying kind of the same thing here. So far, everything is looking consistent. Just thinking about that title, your caption. Let's scroll down and let's take a look at your categories and keywords. Okay, you've got that set up. One of the things you might think about is coming in here and rearranging some of these photos. So it kind of goes in this order where it's like, okay, it's these two, then it's this, then it's outdoor, and then some outdoor. And the shots, like to me, it just looks kind of grouped, right? Especially when we get down to the bottom and we see this group of black and white photos, and then we see this group of detail shots. So what I would consider doing is going back into that gallery, grabbing those images. You can manually grab the images just like this. So you can grab them and you can just rearrange them and change that order. And that order will change the way that they appear in this portfolio. That way we don't have these shot groupings. It's spread over. It kind of gives us a nice even distribution of the different types of photos. And so that way we don't have these images that kind of feel like they're grouped in here. Other than that, I think you have a great portfolio set up here as well. Let's move on to your, what is it, quinceañeras. Let's go check that out. Okay, again, just absolutely beautiful photos. Nice photos. One thing I'll have to say, Carrie, is so far your site has been super consistent. So great job getting that site set up and keeping it super consistent. We're not seeing colors change. We're not losing menu items. We're not losing navigation. Everything's staying consistent. So I think that's great. Just again, some absolutely beautiful photos. That's a really cool shot right here. All the people taking photos with their phones. Let's see. Wow, just some beautiful images. Again, really great job. Categories are there. Captions and gallery titles, something to think about, right? And then again, just making sure that you're going in here, grabbing these images and giving them a nice mix. All right, so one thing I would say is the portfolio, you have your client galleries next, and then you have investment collections over here. And so again, think about your site menu, right? Your website, the home page of your website should be set up, in my opinion. You guys let me know in chat if you think I'm off base on this. But in my opinion, your homepage site should be set up for visitors and client acquisition, because we already have our clients, so we can already communicate with them and tell them what they need to do, where they need to go. But for a visitor, we need to design that site menu for our visitors. And so we need to tell them from left to right what to do. And so what I would probably consider doing, and again, you guys let me know in chat if you think I'm off on this, I would consider moving client stuff over to the right-hand side, making this where they see your work, They find out more about you maybe, or the cost or the investments. They see the products, and then going into contacting you with kind of clients going over on the right hand side, because really your site needs to be about picking up new clients, getting visitors, showing them what they need to show without them having to kind of look, because we want them to, that next thing for them to be is, okay, how do I contact them, or where do I go to see pricing? And that needs to be our next site menu item up here. So we have client gallery access. It looks like you're giving clients access through a drop down. I'm going to click on one gallery and see how this is set up. So that gallery, the reason this says access is content is protected by owner is because that gallery has been set to private. Not password protected, but set to private, which means nobody can see it unless you're the photographer actually logged in. Okay, so going back to what I was just previously talking about, let's think about this from a visitor's perspective really quick. They are looking at a portfolio. The next thing they see is client gallery access, and then they go and they see this right here. Access to content is protected by owner. So thinking about, is that the experience that you want them to have? Obviously, a visitor might not be going into client galleries, but I'm sure that they probably will be at some point to look around. And so you need to think about, is this the experience that you want them to have? Just something to think about. All right, if you're not using, it looks like all of these are set to private. I haven't got into any one of these that are password protected. So what you might think about doing is just removing that. I'm not sure if maybe you are sending gallery invites, which is the workflow that I use, where I don't even put client galleries on my website. I just directly email them the link through the Zenfolio email feature, which is absolutely amazing because you can schedule it. Because let's face it, by the time that we as photographers get the images edited, uploaded, ready to go, it's never a convenient time to email our clients the links to their photos. And so that's why I love that gallery invite feature. So that's probably what I would do. And if that's what you're doing, I would go ahead and get rid of this site menu item. We don't want to confuse anybody by it. I just clicked through the entire menu item, or in the entire drop down, and everything was protected. So that's going to leave people wondering, well, like, why is this up here? Because I can't even log in if I was a client. All right, let's go check out your tidbits really quick. That sounded really strange. I don't want to say that again. This looks like it's your blog. So let's see. Really cool looking blog. Great setup. Just nice. Looks really planned out, really thought out. Great job on your blog. I mean, the images look great. The way that you have it written and set up looks really nice. You have been smart and you hid your publication date so that I couldn't come in here and say, oh, well, you haven't done a blog post since blah, 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 which is great job if you're not going to be able to stay on top of blogging consistently, but you still want to have that blog up there. The last thing that you want people to do is to click on a blog on your blog to where they're supposed to see you being active and doing things, and they see that the last blog post was from 9 months ago, right? That's not what you want to happen. So if you can't stay on top of your blog, you hid your publish dates. So great job on there. Let's go check out your investments and collections really quick. Let's see here. All right, so this looks like it's a custom page, and a really cool custom page here. So you can see you had a collection. It talks a little bit about the different collections. Take a look at the products that are offered here. So I'm going to say bonus points for this really cool custom page. You have this contact me for a free consultation. Hey, Carrie, you need to check out Book Me, okay? It's going to be a really cool addition to the rest of your website. And for all of you guys out there, if you haven't checked out Book Me yet, make sure that you go check it out. I did a live stream a couple of weeks back, maybe a month back now, all about Book Me, and we actually have a Book Me group training. So if you're interested, the link to join that is in the description below. But if you haven't checked out Book Me yet, it's going to help you with a lot of these pages where you're like, click here to contact me about your session, and actually let you take bookings right on your site based on your calendar availability. So definitely check it out. But yeah, as Nick's saying right now, Carrie, you have a very nice polished website, really cool setup. You definitely put in the work learning the custom pages. And guys, let this site show you how powerful custom pages can be. If you have not gone in and explored custom pages yet, they're just amazing. You can do so much with them. As you can see right here, she has some kind of video embedded. And it's got some music going. Let me see if I can mute it. There we go, because that was really loud in my headphones. But as you guys can see, the custom pages are really powerful. So again, Carrie, great job setting up the custom pages. Just really, really cool. All right, let's see. What else do we need to look at here on this site? Let's go check out your About page. All right, another custom page. I think it's a custom page. I don't remember if our About page has this layout option. Anyway, though, great job having the nice About photo here. So many people don't have their actual photos up on their About page. So very nice job with that. You talk a little bit about what you love about photography. Down in here, you're a certified photographer. This is all good information. Again, this is really great. I'm always going to say I would love to see About video. Would love to see you talk about why you're passionate about what you do. But I think this is really great as well. It gives a lot of good information and really good insight into the type of person that you are and what working with you would be like. So I think this is great. Let's see if we can check out this contact page really quick. This is the built-in contact page. Perfectly fine to use. Already set up for you, super easy to implement. You don't have to do anything but just go and link to it from your site menu. And chances are when you created your website, it was already there anyway. So Carrie, great job on your site. Overall, super, super well set up, really consistent, really clean. Just a couple of things with the navigation and then with your portfolio, thinking about the titles, the captions, and different things like that. Overall, though, really, really great site. Okay, let's see here, you guys. I'm going to take a quick break. Let me see who's anybody else joining us. Ezma, I'm going to try to say your name right. Please correct me in the chat if I say it wrong, and I'll try to remember next time. Is it Azoma? Azoma, is that how you say it? Jumping on here and hanging out with us. We've got John from Des Plaines. Thanks for hanging out with us, John. Let's see. Who else we got? Brenda. I want to make sure I say hi to you guys. All right, you guys, the next site that we're going to review is going to come from you guys there in the live chat. Now, if you haven't submitted your site yet, you've still got a few minutes. That link is in the description below the video. I'm sure that the super awesome Katie has thrown it out in the chat for you guys a couple of times as well. I'm going to take a quick break, get a sip of tea. I'm going to come back, and the next site that we review is going to be coming from one of you guys.
Hello Zen friends, Katie here from Zenfolio's customer support team. Thank you for joining us for Site Review Tuesday. If you are here for our live broadcast, you may already see me right over here in YouTube chat, ready to help with any questions you may have. For those of you watching the recorded version of our broadcast, you could submit any questions that you might have in the link below in the video description. You can also submit your own site for our review in the links below. Also, if you love us as much as we love you, please be sure to click the like button on this video and subscribe to our channel for lots of great info on managing your Zenfolio account and customizing your site. We're so grateful to have these pre-submitted user sites. Now let's take one of your live submissions. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching.
All right. Thank you, Katie. All right, you guys, let's see who else we have on jump on here. We had, hey, Michael, how are you doing? Anybody else that I missed? All right, we're going to grab today's live chat audience site. And I think the one that was chosen, let me go grab it. Looks like it's Nick Carr Photography. So let me grab that and pull it over here. I'm going to go ahead and grab that link and throw that link out in the chat for you guys so you can check it out as well if you want. We'll go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock. Now, hey, if your site was not selected today for review, all of the sites go into a backlog that can be chosen at the next site review, but you can always come back next week and submit your site as well. We try to get to all of these guys, but seriously, there has been hundreds and hundreds of sites. I've done my best, so we are getting to as many as we can, as fast as we can. I apologize if I haven't been able to get to them fast enough, but we are trying, I promise. Okay, let's go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock, and we'll get started with Nick Carr Photography here. Is it nickspix.art? So right out the gate, I'm just going to throw this up. Beautiful, beautiful photos. This homepage works really, really well with these images because they're all shown really big. I can tell that you were strategic with what you picked. You didn't choose any portrait-oriented images. Nothing is getting cropped off. So nice job on your image selection here. Sometimes your logo right here kind of does get lost in the background. Now that's probably just your, yeah, so it looks like that is, let's see. So that is just the display name. Perfectly fine to use. What you might think about doing is creating a custom logo, even if you want to keep it just the way that it is right here as far as that font, but pull it up in Photoshop, do that white text, and then do a really thin, maybe not a really thin, but a black stroke around the text so that when it's showing up on these different images, most of the time it's going to stand out because of the black or the white contrast against the image. So something to think about there. Other than that, I think that this is a really, really cool homepage. It's super simple, nice and clean. Let's drop this down here. Let's take a look up here at the top. So Nick, I do want to see some more information up here. Again, this is your website title. So when you go to Google and you type in and you search for anything, all of those search results that come up, those bold titles that you see going across, that's what this actually is right here. And that's why the information is so important. So again, this is one of those things where we set this up whenever we create the account. 9 times out of 10, we forget to go back and look. We're usually in a hurry, rushing to try to get things done. So this is going to be found under, you hover over your account name up here, go to account, and then you're going to go to website, search engine optimization, and you're going to see website title and description. Those two fields are really, really important for your SEO. So something to think about. Also, you can upload a custom favicon here. So whenever you come up with like whatever your logo is or your branding is going to be, maybe you've got it figured out, you just haven't uploaded it yet. But whenever you have that, definitely, if you have a second, make sure that you put that up here so you get rid of the Zenfolio orange and you have your own custom browser icon or favicon. You can choose one, but you can't mix them together. All right, let's see. So let's follow this path that you've kind of set up for us. Now, my thing up here is kind of hiding this, so I'll pull it down here. So let's just go ahead and let's go to landscape really quick, and let's take a look and just take a look really quick here. So some absolutely just beautiful, beautiful photos on here, Nick. Let's see. Again, thinking about the way that you title your galleries, right? It's really simple for us as photographers to just say this is my landscape gallery. Again, thinking about the way that you title those. If this is work that you're selling as wall art or something like that, what are people going to be searching for, or what are your preferred or your intended clients or your target audience going to be searching for, and how can you incorporate some of those words into that title so that this page has better search rankings? So thinking about that in your title, also thinking about it in the caption as well. I think that your image titles are fine. Having that information show is fine as well. Again, as everybody's saying, these photos are absolutely beautiful. But just thinking about the gallery title, the caption up here, that information does matter to search engines. So let's scroll down. Let's take a look really quick. Just some really cool photos. Really cool photos. Also, again, if you've taken the time to categorize and keyword these images, let's make sure that you turn on the categories and keywords over here. That way, that work that you put into these actually benefits you, because if it's not showing, then Google does not take it into account. Search engines only really consider information relevant as long as visitors can actually see it and read it. Now, at Zenfolio, we know that these are photography websites, and the last thing that us as photographers want is a bunch of keywords cluttering up our page. And so what you want to do is turn on that captions, categories, and keywords. The categories and keywords will actually be hidden down here in a nice little box that is expandable so people can read it, so it is seen as relevant information, but it doesn't clutter up your website, but it will help your search results. So something to think about there. All right. And if you're not sure, or if you've been watching Site Review Tuesday, anybody on here, if you guys have been watching, like he keeps talking about categories, keywords, there are several live streams where I talk about that. And in fact, coming up this week on Zenfolio Live, we're going to be talking about just that thing. We're going to be talking about titles, categories, and keywords, all of that information that I talk about on Site Review Tuesdays. Coming up on Zenfolio Live on Thursday, we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be showing you how to do these different things that I talk about week after week here on Site Review Tuesday. So make sure that you join us for that. Okay, let's go up here and let's click on an image really quick and take a look and see how you have it opening up. All right, so nice. You're using the quick shop, super easy, nice, simple setup. You've turned off the visit shop. This is kind of my preferred shopping setup, right? Because I think that it's really simple. I kind of like that you're using the gray and not the black, although I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? The black might make the image pop a little bit more, but sometimes viewing images on a black background also does kind of make the contrast look a little bit more increased. And so that might not be something that you want to do. But what do you guys think in chat? Do you guys prefer, or do you guys like that black background? Or would you rather that be, or do you like the gray right here? Let me know what you guys think in chat on that. Let's go back. Let's go to the next one. You've got wildlife up here. So let's go take a look at that. Again, man, that homepage though, it's so simple and so clean, but it works so well. So great job on that. That homepage, it doesn't work for everybody all the time. Not all of the images work really great on it, but it looks like you are really strategic in what you selected for that homepage. So great job there. Again, also right here as well, same feedback I had on your previous one. Some beautiful photos, but not a lot of information for search engines to really understand what this site's about, how they should rank it, or how they should be serving it up in search results. So let's just go down here and take a look. Some really cool photos. Look at that one. That's just beautiful. Beautiful photos. On this like button in here, if you can, call in a favor from some of your friends, some of your colleagues. Have them run in and go in and click that like button for you. So that way when visitors come here, they don't see a like button that has 0 likes on it. So you've got some friends, you've got some coworkers, you've got some fellow photographers. You guys do each other a favor, go to each other's sites and hit that like button. While you're there, take a look at each other's sites and give each other some feedback, right? Just like with our images, we ask for feedback from our peers. Our websites, we need to do the same thing and have our peers do reality checks on our website and take a look at them and give us feedback. It can just help us be better. All right, really cool though. Very beautiful images. Let's take a look at your people gallery. All right, nice. Nice. So here is the one thing, Nick, that I would definitely suggest to you. You have some really cool wildlife photos, some really cool landscape photos. So what I would suggest to you is think about how you want to establish on your site that you do client work, where people need to go to see examples of your client work versus your artwork, where you're taking landscape photos and wildlife photos and kind of selling them as wall art. Think about, how do I want to distinguish those two kind of sections of my photography apart from each other and make it really plain on my navigation so that people can see, okay, if I'm looking to hire a portrait photographer or an adventure photographer, this is where I need to go to see that information. These are galleries and kind of artwork that's for sale. I mean, right now it's fairly simple to understand that, but really, while I was bringing that up is because just from the homepage here, I did not get the sense at all that you were a photographer for hire, because I just saw a bunch of landscape and kind of art photography. So that's something to think about here, is how can you make it clear to people that yes, you take these beautiful wildlife photos and landscape photos, but you're also for hire as a portrait photographer, because your portrait photos were absolutely beautiful as well. So just really, really nice shots. These studio shots look really nice. And that kind of these adventure photography. So something to think about, right? You don't want this aspect of it to get lost in with everything else. You want it to be very obvious that you do work for hire as well. Okay, let's go check out your adventure. Okay, and so this looks like I've kind of landed on a client gallery. Okay, and so if you want to have client galleries online, I would say it's perfectly fine. I prefer the workflow of having it to where I'm either doing the direct emails, because I just love that email gallery feature. If you don't know how to use it, definitely do a search on our YouTube channel. There's lots of videos that talk about it. It's really, really powerful. But I think you probably don't want people landing on a page that says your adventure and then seeing galleries that are locked up like this. I kind of clicked on it thinking maybe this is where I'm going to go and find out about, okay, cool, how do I hire Nick to be my photographer? Or how do I hire Nick to come along on our hiking expedition, or whatever it is. So something to think about there is how you want to display that information and making it really clear to people that these are client galleries, maybe not even have client galleries on the website, or this is where you go to find out more. So let's take a look at this one really quick and see, because it doesn't, oh, and they're all password protected. So again, thinking about this from the perspective of a visitor, right? I saw that you did people, and so the next site menu item that I see is your adventure. I don't know anything about you other than what I saw. I'm kind of expecting this to be like, oh, my adventure, okay, this is where I go to find out about his services. And then I land on a page like this where I cannot access anything. So you really have to think about those kinds of experiences from a visitor's viewpoint and how you might alter it to be a little bit more beneficial, right? To get that visitor to do what you want them to do, which is hopefully contact you and hire you as a photographer. So let's check out your about page really quick. All right, nice. So I want to say great job having an actual about photo here. Again, I see so many photographers' websites. When I'm not doing site reviews, I'm doing one-on-one training sessions with people, and I see lots and lots and lots and lots of people's websites. And so many people, for some reason, are really reluctant to have a photo on their about page. They'll have a really cool image that they've taken, for whatever reason, right? I get it, right? As a photographer, part of the reason that I became a photographer was because I hated having my photo taken. And I thought, well, if I'm always on that side of the camera, then I never have to be on the lens side of the camera, and I don't have to have my photo taken. I absolutely hated that. It's a true story. That's why I became a photographer, in part. So I get it, right? If we don't like having our photos taken, but as from a client's perspective, think about how awkward it is meeting you for the first time, having no idea what you look like, who to look for. And again, you don't want to have those kinds of experiences. So great job having an about photo on here. You have, let's see, you have some information in here. So it does look like it's written in the third person point of view. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I know there's a lot of professional people who will recommend that you have somebody write this for you. I always find it to be a little weird when I'm going to your site and you're talking about yourself in the third person point of view. That's not a professional opinion. That's just my personal opinion. What do you guys think in chat about that? It comes across a little weird. Again, I know there's lots of professional advisors out there that will recommend that. But on a personal level, whenever I'm on somebody's personal site and they have their about message written in the third person point of view, it always strikes me as weird. Now, if your site is dedicated to a studio, right, and you have multiple photographers in that studio, doing it from the third person point of view totally makes sense, right? But I want you to tell me about you. I don't want to feel like somebody else is telling me about you. I want you to tell me about you in your own words, is what I want on an about page. Let's check out your contact page really quickly. Let's go check that out. All right, so this is the built-in contact page, perfectly fine to use, super easy to set up, super simple. So really effective, really nice and easy to have set up in here. So great job on that. Let's see. And I think you guys, we've kind of covered Nick's entire site. So let's see. Let's check out Nick's Instagram. Let's make sure that this is actually linking. And there's two Instagram buttons here. So that one is linking. That's going to Nick's. Let's go down here. Let's make sure that this one is linking as well. These are things that I always like to check as well, right? Because sometimes we don't do reality checks. Maybe we've had our website for a little bit and we've changed names, we've rebranded, we've done something different. Sometimes those links kind of get weird and stop working if you have changed something. And so it's always nice to go back over that. But Nick, overall, beautiful, beautiful images, really cool site set up, really simple, really easy, really clean. My biggest thing that I would think about is going back and looking at the SEO side of this, and then also making that very clear distinction that yes, I take these beautiful landscape photos, but I'm also for hire as a photographer. Here is the work, examples of the work that I'm for hire for, and here's information about my services. So thinking about how you can make that really apparent here, I think is going to really help you out as well. But thank you so much, Nick, for submitting your site. Hopefully that information was helpful for you. Again, really cool photos, just super, super cool site. So thank you so much for that. All right, you guys, we've got like 4 minutes left. Let me see. Let me go talk to you guys in chat really quick. Let's see. Who else is hanging out with me, or who's still hanging out with me today? Let's see. Jennifer said she loves this homepage. The pics are already really cool from Mr. M. English. Man, getting a lot of good feedback and praise in the chat. By the way, I haven't told you guys this lately in the chat, but you guys are awesome. You guys have developed such a great community in the chat. I love when I'm doing these site reviews and when I'm doing Zenfolio Live and I see you guys talking back and forth, answering each other's questions and complimenting each other, lifting each other up. Like, this is exactly why I love getting on here and going live every week, because you guys make this so much fun and there's such a good sense of community and positivity in that chat. It just fills me up, right, for the rest of the week. So I love that you guys are like that in the chat, and I hope that that continues. Let's see. We had John jump on here and said, I'm an artist who needs more help with everything, selling and connecting with everyone who clicks on my site. Great resources. John, if you are just now getting started on Zenfolio and you're looking to sell your photos, below the video in the description, there's a link that says Basic Selling Training. Click on that and get scheduled into one of our basic selling classes. You'll be hanging out with me and a couple of other photographers, and I'm going to take you through and show you how to get started selling here on Zenfolio step by step. I break every single step down and just show you exactly how to set it up and how to do it. So those are really great classes. Guys, if you haven't joined one, I definitely recommend checking one out. There's also an advanced selling one where we go into really advanced stuff like multiple price list, order approval, different things like that. So if you haven't checked those group sessions out, make sure that you click on those and get signed up for one of those. All right, you guys, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. So I just want to say, you guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me on Site Review Tuesday. Those of you guys who come back every single week, I appreciate you guys so much. Glad to see that there's such a strong sense of community there. Again, don't forget, coming up this Thursday on Zenfolio Live, we're going to be talking about SEO. So all of these things that you guys hear me talk about week after week on Site Review Tuesday, specifically website title, website description, caption, keywords, categories, all of those things, I'm actually going to be going in, deep diving, showing you where those settings are, showing you how to make sure that they're turned on, that you have them set up correctly in your account, and that they're working for you and benefiting you and helping you get better search results. So this Thursday on Zenfolio Live, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button. And if you want a notification when we go live, pull up the phone app, click on the little heart button, or click on the subscribe button in the YouTube phone app. Sorry. Subscribe to us through the YouTube phone app and make sure that you click the bell, and that way you actually get a notification whenever we go live. I'm trying not to cough. I don't want to blow your guys' eardrums. All right. Well, hey, thanks again, you guys, so much for hanging out with us. Make sure that you come back Thursday, same time, same place. Until then, make sure that you do something nice for somebody. Reach out to somebody, check on your friends. If you know that somebody's having a hard time, maybe they've been stuck in quarantine, maybe they're just having a hard time dealing with everything that's going on, make sure that we're taking care of each other, lifting each other up, encouraging one another, and just being good people and listening to one another and being understanding and being good friends. I'll see you guys again on Thursday. Until then, I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you on Thursday.